So like the whole inception of the Genghis Khans is one of those happy accidents and shit, like the Big Bang Theory or fucking Reese's Peanut Butter Cups or some shit, because it just wasn't supposed to happen. Initially, Middleman came to me and was like, yo, listen, I want to get like 5 MCs, maybe 6 on this track called Dream Warriors for this Venice graffiti project that he had lined up. So he wanted an ill beat, 5 hungry MCs, and so what I did was I knew I was going to have Middleman on there. I knew I was going to have G13 on there myself, and then I initially the original lineup was supposed to be New Legends, myself, and then Jim Bean, and then Ill Grammar. But so we lined up the studio, old school style, where we're all at the studio, so we have that energy. But my dude Ill Grammar couldn't make it, so it was 4 of us. And the minute we got into that studio, it was instant chemistry, where it was the diversity of styles was what made it work. You know what I'm saying? I came in with like super fast spittery. 13 had that laid back West Coast, twang and all that shit. And then my boy Angry Jim Bean, he just came with this mathematical flow that just, just was killing it. And then Middleman came with that unorthodox flow. And then it just, when we listened to it back, we're like, what the fuck did we just come across? It was just definitely a happy accident. So we're trying to fill that last anchor spot for the Dream Warriors track. And Ill Grammar couldn't make it. I reached out a couple of MCs here, there. They couldn't come through. So we just had the track. And then we're like, fuck, we really need this anchor spot because there's like 3 minutes left. The beat is ridiculous. It was produced by a Connecticut MC named Live, who had sent me that beat, I want to say 4 years prior, maybe 5. And then after that, Middleman was like, yo, you think you could reach out to Galvatron? Now, Galvanized Tron is an MC that I go way back with, but I've never met in person. We go back to the MySpace days, where we were working with a similar producer named Dub K the Butcher, and we had Mighty Tie this shit. I said, yo, you think you can rock to this shit? He rocked a different joint, and then he rocked another joint. And anytime I needed dude, and I ain't met him in the physical, but anytime I needed dude, he's always come through on tracks. So I reached out. I was like, yo, I got this track, Dream Warriors. The beat's fire. It's for this graffiti project in Venice Beach. He was like, bet, I got you. I sent him the track. I don't know, maybe a week later, if that, maybe even a couple days or a couple hours, because that's how dude works. He came back with the anchor spot, and that was it. The chemistry was instant. And you could tell it was like a throwback to like the Wu Tang, where there's every MC has their lane. Every MC has their own different style. The symphony. Master Ace didn't sound like Craig G. Craig G didn't sound like Kane. Kane didn't sound like Cool G. But all 4 of them made that shit work on the symphony. Leaders of the New School, the Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying? The best hip hop groups usually have a diversity of styles. And that's what we had in the Cons. And that's what we had initially on the Dream Warriors project. So then after that, Middleman was like, yo, I think we got something. Maybe you could talk to G-Tron about, permanently being down with the Genghis Khans, because what Middleman's vision was to have 10 T-shirts, designs, 10 separate projects with 10 joints, and then eventually we will release the Genghis Khans album. And the funny thing is that the name Genghis Khans, we were looking for a crew name, and then my boy Jim Bean came up with that name. He was like, we were like bouncing names back and forth at work, and he said Genghis Khans, and that shit just stuck. I sent the text out to 13 and Middleman. I'm like, what y'all think of this name? Boom, that was it. And then initially we were still going to go with the 6 MCs as the core with my boy Ill Grammar, but he was going through like, not personal things, but like work things were really taking off for him. So he didn't have the time to really knock out tracks. So it just became the 5 of us, and then every so often we'll sprinkle an MC.